Well, welcome to Blade Steels Unleashed to the max. This is a steel series where I get the more basic or traditional blade steels, ones that aren't going to cost you a whole bunch of money, and push them to the max by putting pretty extreme edge angles on them, seeing what they can do with my sisal rope cut test before they fail, if they fail. The idea of this is to sort of extend myself a bit beyond just getting the most expensive or the flashiest steel and doing the same thing with it, and feeling out these steels a bit, and perhaps in the process making myself not such an insufferable steel snob.
It might happen. Yeah, and monkeys might fly out of my butt.
So what I've done here is I've taken 1095 steel, and this was on a farm and field tool by GEC, and this has, I think it's even slightly less than a 12-degree angle on it. It's like 11 or 12 degrees per side.
Mother of God.
The Rockwell of this one is been on the forums told to be about 58 to 59. So whether that's hard enough to not fold over when I do this cut test, I don't know. It's just part of it, isn't it? And most differently of all, I have just V-ground this. There is no micro bevel.
Doomed!
I know, right? I know. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting one. This was a already very thin behind the edge knife. GECs generally are. It came with a pretty decent factory edge, which I had honed a couple of times, but this is a proper regrind. So let's see how much twisted sisal rope it cuts before it no longer does. Oh, I must go and grab some more paper before it no longer slices paper. Yeah, very, very sharp knife. Perhaps too sharp. Who knows? Let's see. When we unleash 1095 to the max. Alrighty, and the edge very suddenly went at about 155. Well, between 145 and 155. This, and I think what it could well be, is even though I'm trying to control my cuts as best as I can, just kind of doing it the same as I always do, this sticks into the chopping board because it is so sharp, and all it would be taking would be a tiny little twist, really, to fold this edge over. It doesn't feel particularly... Oh no, there's a couple of definite sort of odd spots on there. Yeah, that must be it. Yeah, I didn't end up getting more paper, but it's fine. This paper did okay. So yeah, like down the business end, it's still crazy sharp, like where I wasn't testing it. But yeah, up to the top where I was, really scratching for samples here. I've got so much paper at home. What am I doing? Why am I? Yeah, but up here, it's just completely rolled over, pretty much, or just blunt now. Just tears the paper rather than at the end. Right at the tip there's still a little bit, because I always do the main portion of the knife just before the tip. Generally there's this rolling part here. It's about an inch or so of blade, inch and a half max. So yeah, but again, for a very, very basic steel, can't really complain. That's pretty good performance from humble 1095 carbon steel. Come on, people. So, and once again, let's see if I can get it back to life just with a strop, because then you've got some real value on your hands, I would say. Let's see. Ha! There we go, re-straightened. So yeah, I mean, there you go. As long as you're happy to do that every now and then, you're probably going to get a fair bit of life out of your most basic of steel edges. So there you go. Hope you're enjoying this series. I probably will end up doing some higher end steels in the same method. I just don't have huge volumes of rope now, because I'm assuming that whilst this, I do want to demonstrate that even as long as you've got a named steel, that's kind of what I'm getting at, I think. As long as you've got a named steel, you can get some good performance out of it for the right task if you grind it right. Now this knife I would not use on wood. This is just, well, what's probably done it is hitting a bit of wood through the board, as in the chopping board, is probably what's made it not cut very well again. But so I probably wouldn't use it for wood, but for an everyday carry cutter, like for food, for cardboard, for things like that, for rope, obviously, it's going to cut for ages as long as you're happy to strop it again from time to time. Yeah, as I said, every time you strop, it's probably going to add a bit of a micro bevel to it, or make the micro bevel bigger, but I don't know, pretty happy with that. 1095, and I mean, these knives aren't cheap, but 1095 is found in lots of cheap knives as well. And the same rule would probably apply to, say, and I probably will get around to doing this, but to Opinel's like C75. Has a little bit less carbon in it than 1095, but again, the geometries and paired with a really sort of fine edge could probably get some, equivalent performance as well. Alright, so I hope you've enjoyed. I'll see you all on the next one. I'll probably be doing a few of these over the next few days. I'll hit out some of the other basics like LC, so yeah, I might do some LC 200N, seeing as it's kind of my favourite, but probably some 14C 28N, some 420HC, that sort of stuff. Just see what we can do with all these really basic steels. We'll try and find a steel that is just utter shit as well. There's got to be one. I mean, the Z Hunter steel, I guess, when I unleashed that, it did about 15 cuts, so but then it's probably barely steel, probably more of a metal than anything, I'd say. But anyway, 1095, good result. Hope you've enjoyed. I'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys.